Hello everybody, this is Jason. We are back for another PlayStation Friday. This week we are going to cover the few games that I have in my PlayStation 2 collection. And I'm happy that you watched my first video on the PlayStation 1. And I did have a wealth of games at one time, but I sold those off as I became too accustomed to getting rid of my stuff on eBay. But some of the games I'll probably rebuy as a collected edition, and others I already have in a collector's edition. And I also have a little stack of strategy guides also with these bunch of games, as you can see from the two strategy guides that I have in the background. And I no longer have my God of War 2 because I sold that, but I do have that in a collected edition in the PlayStation 3, which you will probably see next week if I can keep these videos coming out on a regular basis. So we're going to start off with one of the most familiar, especially for my comic book guys, but Spider-Man. This game was pretty dope. And for an early Spider-Man game, which I think all of the PlayStation Spider-Man games are pretty cool, this one was really, really dope. I think one of the most memorable things about it was the Green Goblin fight in the air, which was insane. We got Spider-Man 2, which I don't even remember this game, but I still have it. That's crazy. I guess because you only can get $1 for it or something. We got a old school, it's either Nintendo or Sega. I know we played it in the arcade, but they finally made like a 3D version of this game. Never made another one, which I'm surprised because the game was pretty dope with a very different type of weapon, and that's Rygar. This game was fire. Love Greek mythology and all that stuff anyway. But the way he throws the shield and everything, totally awesome. Got Rogue Galaxy. You guys know how much I love my role-playing games. And this was one of those Japanese role-playing games that it was actually, you're like a space pirate and you went from planet to planet instead of being condensed into one world. It was pretty cool. Actually, I had 2 copies of this and sold one on eBay. Really, really cool game. And everyone's favorite lady in video games and comic books. None other than Tomb Raider. Don't remember this game too much either. I know the graphics look way better in this with handstands and backflips and jumping off of cliffs into water. Very nice. And the game that started it all between Disney and Square Enix. That's Kingdom Hearts. Hope you can see that. It's like a holographic cover or whatever. It's the first time I'm like behind the camera. I totally can't see what's going on. But that game was pretty dope. It does not hold up, to tell you the truth. I tried to play like the HD version on the PS4. Gave it to my daughters. Couldn't do it. Survival horror at its best. Resident Evil 4, which I really wasn't a Resident Evil guy. I had like fell off the wagon. And then somebody kind of close to me started really getting into it, and they rocked it. So I decided to jump on the bandwagon with them. And another one of Capcom's newer franchises. And when this game came out, I was flabbergasted. This game rocks. That's Devil May Cry with the Demon Slayer Dante. This game just took extreme sports when it came to monster hunting and stuff. No game quite like it, actually. And I guess it's supposed to be like the next Resident Evil, but it turned out to be something else. I had the original, lost it, and had to get the greatest hits. Devil May Cry 2 sucked. So I think I traded it in back in the days when they were still letting you trade in or return games for a halfway decent price. And then we have Devil May Cry 3, Dante's Awakening, which was a younger Dante, a shirtless Dante, which I thought was kind of weird. But, you know, with the trench coat and the new sword and all that, a much younger Dante. This video game was fire because the arrangement of weapons that they gave him, and that's the difficulty. Old school hardness at its finest. Take that stack down. And one of the only franchises that I still have left for my PS2, and one of the best. I am a extreme fan of Kung Fu and samurais and all things Chinese and Japanese. In this game, they just, I guess they give it a graphics upgrade and put it on the PS4, but I still got my original joints. Onimusha with the samurai, what's that? Samanosuke Akechi, which he was actually modeled after an actor. His name evades me right now, but he's pretty famous. He's been in a couple of cool Japanese films. I know one of the most famous movies that he was in was The Returner. I guess that's the most Americanized one that most people would know. Oh man, I can't remember this dude's name. That's nuts. But anyway, I got Onimusha 2, which this one, it's funny because, I don't know, they changed characters, which everybody was kind of aggravated about until they actually played it. And this one had a little bit more of like a rock and roll feel to it. It had like a rock and roll soundtrack and all of this stuff mixed with traditional Japanese music and stuff. Really, really cool game. And can't go wrong with Jubei, man. Especially when he transformed into his Oni type Super Saiyan form, which Samanosuke did not transform in the original Onimusha. Onimusha Dawn of Dreams. We got a little bit more Americanized with that, or should I say European, because we have Gene Reno, the professional, teaming up with Samanosuke, who returns in this one. And this game, it has some really, because you like jump back and forth between like present time and in the past. But the full motion cutscenes, which were done for this game, was on point. It was crazy. And Donnie Yen actually did all the motion caption for all the fighting that Samanosuke did. Really, really awesome stuff. And the last game of the series for the PlayStation 2, and personally one of the best, because the whole gameplay changed, because now you had team members you could switch between, and you had a partner and all of that. It was Onimusha Dawn of Dreams. And this game is just fantastic. It is, oh man, if you like Japanese games and samurais and magic and all that stuff, and I think this is the first one that was 2 discs also. This game was pretty dope. And the sidekicks that you had and all of that, really, really dope. And you definitely should try the Dark Realm if you got the guts for it. But Onimusha, yeah, definitely glad to still have these in my collection. You cannot go wrong with that. And yeah, not a big Konami guy, but boom. Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. Everybody was aggravated because you really couldn't play through the entire game. Oh, Excuse me. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. That was the wife. You know I had to answer it. But yes, Metal Gear Solid 2. This is when we are introduced to Raiden. And the game was dope, nonetheless. Much different than the games that I usually play. But pure fire. I have no idea where my strategy guide is for this. Very aggravating when you're like one of those completionists having people or whatever. And one of the prettiest games ever created on the PlayStation 2, especially for anyone that loves ukiyo art and all of that good stuff in the traditional Japanese form of watercolor painting and all of that. We got Okami, which is, I guess, based on the sun god, Amaterasu, which is a wolf, of course. They have this really cool fire wheel on her back that she smashes demons with. And speaking of art, you have like a paintbrush skill where you can like paint certain techniques that it does all type of different things. You can make the sun come out and make trees grow and cut enemies in half and all that cool stuff. Sorry. All right, everybody. Y'all gotta forgive me. My mother-in-law is traveling, and we had to make sure that she got to her destination safely. You know what I'm saying? But Okami, check that out. And the last few games that I'm gonna show you, these games kind of defined my PlayStation life, I guess, a little bit. And I don't know what order I'm going to show you in, but got Final Fantasy 12, which was a really weird Final Fantasy. The job system and all of that was just weird. It was a dope game. It was cool. Main character was kind of soft, but what you gonna do? You know what I mean? The game was really, really dope. And one of my favorite Final Fantasies, but one that a lot of people really didn't care for. And I got this game on the PlayStation 2. I got it when it came out on the PlayStation 3. And I got it on the PlayStation 4. And that's Final Fantasy X. This game, even though it was very linear, and I love this game. This game got a lot of heart. Got a lot of heart in this game. The battle system, everything was perfect. Switching in and out of the characters, the weapons, even a little side game of Blitzball that you had to play. Even though I sucked at it, because I suck at all sports games. That was kind of cool. This game was pure fire to me. And my last game is the first of this franchise that I ever played. And I have to say, number 2 in my PlayStation 2 list that I currently have. And that is Dragon Quest VIII. What can I say? If not better than Final Fantasy, then just as good as Final Fantasy. All the characters in this game were awesome. The villain was awesome. The world in this game was awesome. The alchemy system to make accessories and weapons was just wonderful. And I think the only thing that I didn't like about it, the main character didn't speak. He didn't have a voice at all. He just, shook his head and just went off, whatever, and everybody and all the sub characters, your supporting cast, spoke for you and talked to you and everything like that. And he just, oh yeah, okay, which was kind of aggravating. But this game, oof, pure magic. And that's pretty much it for my PlayStation 2 collection. Before we go, we're going to share with you these old and dusty strategy guides, of course. You know, I'd be like, why would you get a strategy guide for Spider-Man? But I was just a Spider-Man fanatic. And usually, of course, when you bought the games, you know, they give you like a little bit of a discount when you bought the strategy guides with them. Spider-Man 2. And I think I just got it just for that cover, really. Can't go wrong with that. The Devil May Cry. Yeah, baby. Devil May Cry 3. Oops, don't fall there. And obviously my God of War 2 and my Onimusha 3 strategy guides. And we got a Bible here for this role-playing game. Boom. Rogue Galaxy, super humongous. And I got all the Onimusha strategy guides, which my Onimusha one is falling apart there. Samanosuke. We got the gold foil cover for Onimusha 2. Yeah, with the 3D maps. And we got the Dawn of Dreams, which to me has to be like the best Onimusha out there. The game is fire. We got Okami. And I do not have my Metal Gear Solid strategy guide, my Rygar strategy guide, or my Dragon Quest 8 strategy guide. I don't know what happened with that. But we will end it with one of the best out of all of them, my Final Fantasy X strategy guide. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you have endured my pauses in between the video. And next week, we are going to do PlayStation 3, which look to sit there for a little while because I have twice as many games, I think, and twice as many strategy guides. So we keep trying to mix it up with the comics and news and everything else, and just share with you all the stuff that I collect. So until next time, I will catch you at the same bat time and at the same bat channel. Peace.